Another Monday, another tag back. Unless you happen to be watching this on a day that isn't Monday, or way after I upload it, which makes this entire opening segment a little awkward. The show where every week we take a look at another blaster from the past to see what it could offer us today in the present. And this week we're looking at a blaster that is pretty synonymous with comfort in the nerfing world. It is a blaster that is just amazing. It's been cut up and used in so many beautiful, beautiful projects that I had no idea what the original blaster was even capable of, despite owning several of them. For its time, we take a look at the N-Strike Firefly. It's a pretty cool blaster. Right off the bat, this thing might look a little familiar, but you wouldn't know why, except for pretty much this whole back half of the blaster here has been cut up and used in many, many beautiful projects, I think the most popular of which was the Stryfly, although there are certainly a lot of projects that have cut off this backstop and this nice thumbhole stock grip thing and used it in a variety of very, very beautiful cosmetically done blasters. And yeah, it's pretty much all cosmetic, but the Firefly is ridiculously comfortable. It has all of the space back here, and yet the front of it is just so minimalist, with the priming handle right up there, and of course, it's an 8-dart rotating cylinder turret. What's its gimmick? It has to have a gimmick, right? Well, for one, it's got dart storage in the stock. Very, very beautiful, well designed, honestly. But its main gimmick is it's got a switch. You turn the switch on and a little red LED turns on. But what does it do after that? Well, if you prime it, and then you fire it, it makes a muzzle flash. It's not entirely a muzzle flash, it's actually meant to be something that charges glow-in-the-dark darts. For this was one of the few blasters that ever used those. I believe originally they were glow-in-the-dark sticky-headed darts, not like glow-in-the-dark elite darts or anything like that. So it had its own gimmick, but by its own weight, it's a very, very comfortable blaster, and you can kind of see why people love to use these things. Honestly, I don't think this handle right here is very comfortable. It's a little small, although it does fit my tiny baby hands. But this stock and just the overall profile of the blaster is very, very nice, although it would be better to have like a cheek rest or something like that. But seriously, this thing is super comfortable, which is why you see it on pretty much everything ever that is just amazingly beautiful. It's got nice lines on it. It looks very mechanical, but very detailed. Nice curved edges with nice sharp edges everywhere. It's a beautiful, beautiful blaster. I do have one story pertaining to this beast. I went to Dart Wars once with my roommate, as we usually did, and on our team there was a girl using one of these, which immediately we're like, oh, it's an N-Strike blaster, it's not gonna do anything. And the second they count down and start the match, she fires this thing, and it rocketed so hard and slapped a guy right on the cheek. And of course we took cover, and the first thing both of us say is, holy crap, what was that? And she's just laying waste to people with one of these things, and I couldn't figure out why. It turns out this blaster is an N-Strike blaster that is actually direct plungered. I had always pegged this thing for being another reverse plungered blaster, and it turns out it's a direct plunger blaster, which means with a spring upgrade and some minor changes, it is capable of hitting some pretty gnarly ranges. It does have this kind of rotating drum up in the front, so of course barrel seal is going to be important too, and of course the original barrel is kind of terrible. And then of course you got to worry about a spring upgrade, but once you get that stuff done, it is perfectly capable of hitting some elite ranges there. It's a pretty gnarly blaster for that. If nobody's ever taken apart a Firefly before, they will be very, very impressed. I know I was downright scared of it. And of course, it has a lovely tactical rail up at the top. Here's the back end of the stock. You can kind of see how that might be considered comfy. There's a lot of distance between the actual grip itself and the stock. It's quite a long draw, and yet there's really nothing in front. You wouldn't be mistaken if you think, wow, that's almost like a bullpup blaster. It's not bullpup, but there's just so much back here and so little up here. And it is an 8-dart rotating turret, which is serviceable by all means. But of course, the main purpose of these blasters is to gut them and integrate them into a variety of other projects. Mainly just cutting everything below this nice kind of shroud right here and the handle, and then epoxying and sanding and painting it, like putting in a stripe or something in the front of it. But it is a very, very comfortable blaster, and that's why people love it. But it is a shame that a lot of people, I can't be the only one, I had no idea this thing was direct plungered. I have 4 of them. I had no clue whatsoever, and it caught me completely off guard. Oh my gosh, even the stock performance is pretty gnarly. I mean, wow. That's not bad for a very, very old blaster, you know, a decade-old blaster that probably has never been opened up or taken care of, and yet it can clear the garage not too bad. So honestly, if you have one of these things and you might like it, you can get some decent distance out of it. But of course, that's a really, really small trigger guard right there. But of course, it's most likely just going to be cut up and used in a very, very fancy project for everyone. Myself included, looking at this thing now, this would be a very, very easy way of accomplishing another project I had with another Titan tank a very long time ago. And looking at this, yeah, this might be the blaster I use as the base for it. What do you think of the N-Strike Firefly? Do you love it? Do you want one? Do you want one? Do you love it? Do you want one? Or is it just despised by you? Let me know what you think down in the comment boxes below, and of course, if you know of any interesting mods, I'd love to see them. This blaster's been around for a long time, so I'm sure some people have done some pretty crazy stuff with it. That being said, I'm Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video. Here's 2 more episodes of Tag Back you can look at if you want to see something I've already done, and see some other cool blasters you might not know have existed. And of course, if you want to see next week's video, the easiest way to do that is to hit the subscribe button, because every Monday there's going to be another Tag Back. And hopefully at this rate there will be blasters for me to do Tag Back until the end of time. I never really talked about it before, but the main criteria for being a Tag Back blaster is that it's discontinued, unless I just want to talk about it. But whatever, it's my show, I do what I want. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in an entirely different one. If only they were semi-auto. These things are really, really fun. Yeah, I've got so many of them, I might as well do something with them. It's kind of funny that the blue one doesn't have nearly as much detail as the N-Strike one. Overall, pretty cool blaster. You know, it's obviously not going to win any kind of performance. Nothing super crazy. Did I just get a dry fire review? Any kind of performance marks whatsoever, but hey, it's not bad. It certainly could be worse. It could be a Maverick. Walcom out. Maybe I should stop hitting my camera with FVJs.